I mean, we'll stick on Pogacar for the next two clips. First clip is, how do you stop him? Man, I mean, unless we did this, who was it with, where it was just like Mathieu van der Poel, that's it. With the Visma bike, is that the kind of the same solution here?
Yes. A way to stop Pogacar is to have either Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel, Primož Roglic, or Jonas Vingegaard on the start list. I haven't put Evenepoel in that because we don't quite know how they would compare. They haven't really raced all that much together outside of the World Championships. But these Galacticos just seem to sort of be able to crack him. It's those longer mountain days. We know that Pogacar struggles on those where there's multiple climbs above sort of 4,000 meters.
But for a classic, and now we're talking a classic.
Oh, okay. For a classic, I mean, in Lombardia, it looks almost impossible to beat him there because it's just a tailor-made classic for him with these short climbs that look perfect for him. Don't bring up Jonas Vingegaard into the equation there. But I guess maybe Evenepoel's long-distance attacks where he gets into time trial mode, that could be one way of really challenging Pogacar. We were promised it last year at Liège-Bastogne-Liège. We didn't quite get it then. We could get it again this year because that's one thing that Evenepoel has in the Galacticos that I think the others can't quite match up to. We haven't seen Van der Poel do this since 2020, 2021, where he goes in these big sort of long-distance solo attacks, and Wout doesn't really do it either. So for me, Evenepoel's long-distance attacks are probably the only way that he could be beaten in a Liège-Bastogne-Liège scenario.
Yeah, I agree. Or an ill-placed pothole. I mean, Pogacar would be absolutely screwed in the roads around me because there are so many potholes. He'd just be getting obliterated within 2Ks, to be honest with you. He's a Patrick Lefevre dugout pothole. That's the only thing that can stop him. But I agree with you, and I think Remco is quite a good counter to Pogacar, even though, like we say, we haven't really seen it too much, those two go head-to-head. I do think that on a one-day setting, Remco's sort of a guy who can counter him quite well. It's a type of rider which Pogacar hasn't had to face a lot of, is somebody who is deadly in that area. He's familiar with how to deal with a Van der Poel and a Van Aert and the assaults which they can give to him, but how do you deal with somebody who's launching an attack with 50Ks to go rather than 10K, 5K, 1K to go, whatever? So yeah, I agree. I think it's Remco. Maybe it is the team strength of Visma bike. It's just a numbers game. You just got to roll him over with multiple attacks. But again, you got to really, that's a very formulated plan. Like, that's a small area in the Venn diagram is what that is. But it's hard to say because Pogacar's team is strong too. Strade, we saw that. Gosh, I mean, the UAE team is just it's no slouch. It's not like 2018 UAE Team Emirates. This is a boisterous outfit, which is not going to be easy to beat. I mean, maybe in the classics, it's possibly a bit easier. I'd say their climbing-based team is better than their cobble-based team, so maybe Visma Bike have an advantage there. But you need Wout to be good. At the end of the day, he's the only one who has a realistic chance of beating him.
Exactly that. I mean, last year in Ronde van Vlaanderen, and even the year before, there wasn't really much support for Poggi there apart from Matteo Trentin. And still, Pogacar finished one in fourth place and the other one he won. So the cobbles, it's a bit of a different question there, but I think Poggi's strong enough to really go at it without team support. But at Strade Bianche, Isaac Del Toro, I thought, rode really well, as did Tim Wellens, who really made the difference. It'll be hard for any other team to get onto this level. Even like Soudal Quickstep, I think they're losing their spark in the classics. We've been seeing that over the past couple of years. So maybe the advantage and the momentum is actually in UAE Team Emirates' court going into this classic season and next year's classic season, where we could see Poggi win even more classics and add to his palmares.
I mean, the funny thing with Tim Wellens was that he finished 13th again, third time in his career, 13th. But yeah, I think the mistake was, people were saying that nobody was able to follow that acceleration, but I think because it was that extra, 70 kilometers of gravel, and people were a bit worried that, it was just panache by Pogacar, and also the Group 2 dynamic was as frustrating as you'll ever see, I think.
Yeah, I mean, last year the Group 2 dynamic was painful to watch, but this year also was similarly painful. You think like, what if they rode this race without race radios? How would that make it sort of pan out? But of course, that's not within sort of the rules of the UCI World Tour level. We also saw that playful side of Pogacar, all the pictures that are coming out of him smiling and sort of playing with the fans, which is good fun. Yeah, oh yeah, some guy tried to like high five him and almost smacked his head. That was pretty rough.
But he high-fived someone later then near Siena. So
okay. Yeah, I mean, all the way up that final climb, he was just sort of like having fun, smiling he was like finding the photographers on the climb and smiling at them and getting good pictures for the end. Where in the past, we've seen people grimacing up that climb. Poggy was just flying and having a good time. And that victory celebration where he went across the line holding the bike up, man, that's just iconic in general. Mikael Landa's done it. Philippe Gilbert's done it. And now Pogacar's done it. He's in a special club.
So we're saying, if you're Ineos Grenadiers, no chance of winning. This Melissa bike, you have to bring wow.
Who from Ineos could possibly be Poggy?
Yeah, I'm not going to don't pick up. No,
it's like, no, 10 years from now.
Magnus Sheffield. He was quite good in periods, but yeah. No, it was just when you saw Ineos Grenadiers trying to bring him back, and then this Melissa bike had more numbers in that second group, and they contributed 0. And then a few moments later, Sepp Kuss was at the back, and then you're like, well, what are you guys doing?
It's like Ineos really just can't. It's fully ingrained in their DNA. There is somebody up the road, and we will work on the front. They really can't kick this 2017 era that for some unknown reason they can't shake. It's a natural instinct in the same way that humans breathe to live. Ineos work on the front for whatever reason, even though.
What would you two do then? You're the team managers of, I don't know, pick teams. What would you say? Pogacar's just flung himself 80 kilometers from the finish. Do you think he's just going to burn himself out?
I'd say we're fighting for second immediately. I'd say once he's got a minute gap, it's gone. It's like when Russo goes in a women's race. Gone. No shot. Like you are out unless you immediately act, and teams go, we need to unite as a united front to bring him back. It's not happening. It's just not, especially over terrain which suits Poggy, where it's just like up and down, especially the ups. Nobody's catching him there. I think that you should have gone with fighting for second place, and play to that. Just play defensively. Mark moves out with Sheffield, more likely, because I think he was on a really good day as well. And honestly, play for second. It sounds pretty, defeatist, but I really just don't think that once you let Pogacar go, I don't think that he's coming back. I don't care if you've got 5 people in the group. I just don't think it's happening.
I would almost say, they probably thought Poggy was going to go with that distance. He even said it in a post-race interview beforehand that he was going to attack at 85k to go. It wasn't quite 85, but it was close enough. I think just revert to the plan and act as if he's not up the road. Try to take control of that group. Try to race it like it's a normal race, as if someone's not 2 minutes up the road. Because if you let that play into your head too much, I think that just lets the group crack, and that's what we saw. There was no real order or hierarchy within their group. I think a team just has to sort of take control of it, talk to other teams, and try to get everyone to sort of act as if Poggy's not up the road. The only team that really would gonna change that dynamic would be UAE.
It was always hard when you had like Vellens in there as well, always disrupting. Once Van Hills went up the road as well, and you had Van Aertvelt behind as well. Like it just gets worse and worse the longer the race went on. I don't really know what you did to counter it or what Ineos should have done. I just don't think there was really any winning. I don't think anybody else stood a chance once they rolled up to the start.
As well, we had some decent results in top 10. Formula getting 7th place, podiumed a couple of years back, but that's his sort of big debut with Movistar. Pippo Zana getting top 10, proving that he wasn't just a sort of a one-tour wonder last year in the Giro. I know he won the Tour of Slovenia, but still. And I'm sure Patrick will mention this one. Francesco Puzzato